Hello friends, it's Nancy with Astrology and Angel Mediums today with another deck unboxing. Today I have the Mystic Psyche Tarot by Emily Balivet, and this is also published by Rockpool Publishing. So this is a traditional tarot deck with 78 cards, and it has this beautiful kind of like Art Nouveau vibe that I felt a little bit drawn to. So I'm going to show you guys what the deck includes, what it looks like, and I'll drop the information on how you can purchase if this is something that you feel drawn to. So it has a beautiful box, larger than a typical tarot box, and a beautiful guidebook. I really love when there's these very, like, almost worthy of putting on your shelf books because they're so nice. I don't know if you guys like have a lot of bookshelves like I do, where I do keep some really beautiful books on there just so like I have pretty things to look at. A little Taurus coded energy there for you guys. But this is a full color book, and it has a lot of information. It's a traditional tarot deck. I think that this is going to be a Rider-Waite Smith inspired deck as well. So if you are still new to tarot and more used to the RWS style decks, this would be a good one. There's also some card spreads inside of the guidebook, and then it's split up the way that you would traditionally have a deck split up with the major arcana and then the minors. I do really enjoy that there's so much different information and that there is the inclusion of reversal meanings inside of the guidebook. I have noticed with a lot of tarot decks, they usually don't have an inclusion of what a reversal meaning is. So if you are someone that likes to read reversals, it is nice to have that there. But if you don't want to, again, you can do whatever you want. I just thought the artwork was really beautiful, and it kind of reminded me of like the Tarot Mucha almost kind of vibe, but more colorful and a little bit, it's almost like a cross between the Thoth Tarot and then like the Tarot Mucha, like with the artwork, and I'll show you guys what the cards look like. But there is full pictures or full color pictures inside of the guidebook, and it is split up really nice. And then we have the minors with a little bit of information about what they represent, which is nice. Another layer to kind of add. And there are reversals and a little bit more explanation versus just keywords for each of the minor cards, which is also really nice. Because as anyone that has ever bought like a US game stack or something with a little white book, it's like it'll just have keywords per each of the cards. So this is really nice to have to kind of study and learn from, as there's the symbolism, the meanings, there's keywords, there's reversals. And the one thing I did notice is that some of these cards are more like a pip style deck. Here, I'll see some of the suits. I think when I looked through it, yeah. So like the wand suit is more like a pips, suit. And then for some of the, so for like the cups, it's not as much of, a little bit, but not as much. There's some, so there's some symbolism there. And I think the swords were similar and the pentacles were very similar. It was like a pips suit. So that's the only thing. If you are someone that maybe prefers to have a little bit more of like artwork or a more intuitive way of reading each of the minor cards, if you kind of struggle with the minor card meanings, this may be a little bit more challenging to use, just because when it's like a pip style deck, there isn't anything much more on the cards besides the actual, like, however many it is. So if it's like 4 pentacles, there'll be like 4 circles on there, 4 little coin looking things. All right, so we have again this kind of matte gilding on the edges, nothing super shiny. It's not cracking or anything like that, which is nice. I didn't have to like crack open the deck. I don't know if you guys have had issues with that. Sometimes I feel like when a deck is like edged or has like this gilding, I have to be like and just like crack it open in order to be able to use the cards. The backs are reversible. I really like this back. It's simple, but it's really beautiful. And I'm going to show you guys the cards. I did like that there is this beautiful kind of edging on all of the cards, which is really nice. So they are labeled, which is also good. Really colorful, fun, not super shiny, which is good too. I mean, there's like a matte kind of eggshell kind of finish. And the cardstock's not super, super thick, which is nice if you have small hands too. So there's a Magician, the High Priestess. I thought the artwork was just really detailed and beautiful. Emperor, Hierophant, the Lovers, Chariot, Strength, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, the Hanged Man, Death. This is a beautiful Death card to me. Temperance, it's really stunning. You have the Devil, the Tower, Star, the Moon, the Sun, Judgment, the World, and then we have the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Five of Cups, 6. See what I mean? Where it's a little bit more like a pip style. The 7 of Cups, the 8 of Cups, the 9, and then the 10 of Cups. And then we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. So for the Wands suit, here we go with a more pip style kind of vibe. The 3, 4, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So if you are someone that struggles a little bit more with the minor arcana and don't really have a system to help you kind of either have an understanding of what the energy of each of the suits does, or how each of the numbers are associated, you know, with certain meanings and things like that, it can be a little bit more challenging just because it doesn't have some sort of, what's the word? Not explanation, but maybe even just like some sort of like symbolism on there for you to kind of go off of it intuitively. So here we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen of Wands, and it's so funny because I was like, this looks so familiar. I've received a card from somebody and this image was on there, and I thought it was so pretty that I ended up hanging it up on one of my gallery walls. I like the card, which probably sounds a little funny, but I was like, this is such beautiful, like, I don't know, I just thought it was beautiful. I have a lot of different cards that I really like the artwork and so I just used it as like artwork on my walls. So the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands, and then we have the Swords suit, Two of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Four of Swords. So see, this is where it might be a little bit confusing because it's kind of like, does this mean it's something bad? Does this mean it's something challenging? So if you don't really have an understanding of tarot, this might be a little bit more having to lean on the guidebook a little bit more to kind of understand what the meaning is versus like being able to perhaps intuitively connect to the message. The Five of Swords, this we can actually see a little bit of like there might be some conflict. The 6, there's a little bit of art there for you. The 7, the 8, and then the 9 of Swords, 10, and then we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. Now for the Pentacle suit, we have the Ace, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Page, Knight, Queen, and King. So as you can see, it does have all 78 cards. There's no extras, which is nice, especially if you're someone that doesn't really want to learn new cards or struggles with new cards. I think that it's really beautiful artwork. I think that this will be a nice deck to kind of use for reading for others and to kind of see how it does with other people. I don't think that I would use this as like my own personal deck. I don't know. We'll see. But let me know what you guys think of this deck. Is this a deck that you would want in your collection? What sort of tarot decks do you tend to gravitate towards? And is this sort of the style that you like? I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please take care, stay safe, and as always, make good choices out there.